What is up guys, my name is Solheim, and if you're new around here, I am a World of Warcraft player with a particular interest in farming gold. And if you've been around for a while, welcome back. Today we are checking out another gold farm on the TBC beta, and I am testing this farm for 2 hours to show you guys what you can expect to get from 2 hours of farming here. I recently did a video on primal water farming in Terracar Forest that I think could be a hidden gold mine in TBC Classic. So if you haven't seen that one yet, I would recommend you go and check that one out as well. I will leave a link to that video in the description of this one. So this farm right here is an oldie but a goodie, and I think it might actually be a little bit less popular than I originally thought, for a couple of reasons that I will discuss throughout this video. So the location of this farm is in Sangar Marsh, and it's all the way southwest, right next to the Sporegar village. And you will actually go to this place naturally by following the questline in Sangar Marsh. And there's this dude right outside the marsh over here that will give you a couple of quests for these mobs, which you will actually want to do to get enough reputation to unlock some Sporegar quests, including a dungeon quest as well. Basically what I'm saying is that these mobs are tied to a quest in Sangar Marsh, and you should expect some players to pop by every now and then as they are doing their quests. But I wouldn't say it's a very popular farming location, so you should be able to farm here with very little competition. The mobs themselves are level 63 to 64, so being in that level range is probably a good idea, but if you have good enough gear from Classic WoW and some decent hit rating, you can probably rush here at level 60 and make a decent amount of gold while leveling. Although I wouldn't really recommend that, but it's a way of making gold while leveling, so if you're looking for a way to do that, well, here you go. So why farm here? Well, these giants have a pretty decent loot tier table, and they actually drop some interesting items. These items include motes of life, which can be turned into primal life, as well as unidentified plant parts, which can be turned in for reputation, and will actually make you a decent chunk of gold early in TBC when everyone is grinding their reputation. And you can also obtain some living essences from these bad boys. One thing I will say is that I did not have herbalism during this test, and having herbalism would increase the gold from this farm substantially, as you can gather more herbs, and you can gather herbs from every single mob, and those herbs include the new Outland herbs, as well as extra motes of life. I do not have any other tests to base this off, but I would assume bringing herbalism will easily increase your profits by at least 30%, if not even 50% from this farm, as you will find some herbs on the ground as well. So if you're looking or going to farm here, make sure you bring herbalism. Before you ask why I didn't bring herbalism myself, it's because I don't currently have a druid in Classic, and I boosted a druid to level 58 on the beta, and in order to actually test this with herbalism, I would have to skill up herbalism from 1 skill to 300 skill on the beta, which I just don't think is worth to do on the TBC beta, and I'm also working on doing that in Classic WoW on my rogue. So yeah, you will get motes of life, unidentified plant parts, and living essences from these mobs, as well as an item called Boglord Tendrils, which can be turned in for Sporegar reputation up to friendly, so you can probably trade that to other players for some profit as well. On top of that, you can get grey trash items, green items, blue items, and epic item world drops as well. The reason I think this farm won't be as popular as you would initially think is, first of all, there's at least one more location in Sangar Marsh where you can farm these, which is the Dread Mire, or whatever the swamp is called. That is up northeast, just north of the Cenarian Expedition City, in Sangar Marsh. The second reason is that primal life, or I guess I should say motes of life, are obtained when gathering herbs in Outland, so a lot of people will obtain these semi-passively with herbalism anyway. Basically, herbalists will obtain motes of life, and mining will give you motes of earth, so primal life and primal earth will probably be some of the lowest priced primals out there. That being said, both of these primals are still used in huge quantities from pretty much every profession out there, so at the launch of TBC I believe every primal should sell for a ridiculous price, as people are leveling up their professions and also crafting both pre-best in slot items and actual best in slot items as well. So keep this farm in mind if you notice primal life has a decent price on your server. I also want to let you guys know that I've managed to secure you guys a 50% off code on what I think is the best gold making guide for TBC Classic, which you can find a link to in the description and the pinned comment. So far, this gold making guide has 80 pages of pure gold making information. It is incredibly in-depth, and by purchasing the guide you will also get all of the updates for free, as Student will keep improving and updating the guide before TBC comes out and during TBC as well. So if you want a guide that shows you everything you need to know about gold farming and gold making, go check it out, the link in the description, and use code Solheim at checkout to save 50%. One last thing to mention before I cover the results from my 2 hours of farming here, is that each kill of these giants gives you 15 reputation with the Sporegar. So if you need reputation with the Sporegar, this is a great way to get that reputation, while also farming gold, and if you're under level 70, you are also getting experience, basically hitting 3 birds with 1 stone. And just in case you're wondering what you can get from the reputation with the Sporegar, here's a quick look at what the Sporegar Quartermaster offers you. The Talus Stalk Mushroom can be handy while doing this particular farm, as it will show you the location of these giants on the minimap. You can get some cooking recipes, a cape, a nice shield that every paladin tank will want, a wand, a nice dagger, a recipe to transmute primal earth to water, which might come in handy, as well as a not primal, but herbalism bag, a potion, and a tabard and a pet. Alright, I guess it's time to look at the results from me farming here for 2 hours. Before I started farming, I was sitting on 11% experience and 1,122 gold. I also had 10% rested experience, and I was sitting on 2,000 out of 6,000 reputation into friendly. I also wrote down my reputation after 1 hour into the farm, because I thought the mobs would stop giving me reputation once I got past honored, and I just wanted to see how many mobs I killed per hour. After 1 hour I was sitting on 4,460 out of 6,000 reputation, which means I had gotten 2,460 reputation, divided by 15 rep per kill, means I got 164 kills in that first hour. After the full 2 hours I was sitting on 38% experience, 1,203 gold, and 770 out of 12,000 reputation into honored. So the total gain for me during these 2 hours was 27% experience, 81 raw gold, 11 primal life, and 3 additional motes of life, as well as 5 living essences and 74 unidentified plant parts. I also got 90 Boglord tendrils, which you can hand in to get friendly reputation with the Sporegar, but they don't give anything past friendly, but you might be able to trade them to other players for more than their vendor value, simply because they are used to get to friendly. In total I also got 4,770 reputation, divided by 15 reputation per kill, means I killed 318 mobs in total during these 2 hours of farming. It will be very tough to determine a gold per hour from this particular farm, because it will be highly dependent on your server, as well as when you're watching this, as I think primal life and unidentified plant parts, as well as the bog tendrils, will go for way above vendor price early in TBC, but late in TBC those reputation items will most likely just be vendored, and primal life will also most likely drop in value throughout the expansion because people obtain them from herbalism, so the market will be flooded with them. One thing I forgot to mention in my last video testing out the Primal Water Gold Farm is that if you do have enchanting, you can most likely disenchant these greens instead of vendoring them, and especially if you do this farm early in TBC, you should make a lot more gold by doing that, because every raider that is looking to min-max will level up enchanting. Of course they will get a lot of green items to disenchant from questing, but you can probably still disenchant greens and sell them for more gold than their vendor value. But if you're going to do that, keep in mind that having one skill in enchanting is no longer enough in TBC. You will actually have to skill up your enchanting in order to disenchant high level items. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it for this video, guys. Another semi-hidden golden gem in TBC Classic that I think could be worth a lot of gold, especially early on if you capitalize on those reputation items. And you have to realize that the primal life is not all of the gold you will get from this farm, and I think selling those unidentified plant parts as well as the Boglord tendrils could be a really good way of making gold by capitalizing on people needing that reputation. So yeah guys, that's pretty much it. If you have any other farms you want me to test out, let me know in the comments down below. And remember to hit the like button if you enjoyed the video, because that really helps me out. And subscribe to the channel for more TBC content. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I shall see you again very soon.